And two things for sure: you got to have tough skin in this field. You have to have tough skin in this field. You can't have nobody walking over you in this field. You understand what I'm saying? Because one is draining, and two, you got. Welcome to my channel, Bent Loves Love, where we are talking about nursing, love, and me, of course. So I wanted to come up here. As you can see by the title, I was gaslit by a travel nursing agency. It's a pretty short story. I was out in Oregon during summer last year, and I realized that it was time for me to start walking in my purpose, start getting things together for my purpose and stuff like that, start really acknowledging my purpose. Start really acknowledging my purpose. So towards like the 6th week of working for them, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a little hiatus and stuff like that, and I'm gonna go in and out because my healing journey really is a deciding factor for the things that I do moving forward. So I'm going to tell you what I was thinking and how I was feeling because of my healing journey, right? So I decided to take a little break because I was like, I feel drained. Like I feel like I'm not doing the things that I want to do. I wanted to come back to New York City, where I'm originally from, and I just wanted to chill and stuff like that, get back to myself, because I started my healing journey by leaving New York City. I went to Arizona, and then that's how I got acquainted with this agency. So when I got acquainted with this agency, this would be my second time working for them. First was Washington State, the second was Oregon, and I decided that I would, come back after my hiatus in New York. But I decided to stay an extra week because of the simple fact that I just didn't feel fully rejuvenated yet. And I told them that I was like, I'm not ready to come back yet because there's things that I want to do at this moment. So, I got a little bit of pushback, but I told them I will be back on the 26th, right? So now the 26th is approaching, and I let them know. It was like, okay, I'm ready to come back. But then they told me, they was like, well, they're not ready for me yet. So don't start traveling. Don't start traveling until we tell you when to travel. That was the instructions that I got from them. So I said, okay, no problem. I didn't sweat. I didn't fret. I didn't frantic. I didn't do anything. You know what I did? I finally booked that trip to Canada and said, I'm going to go about my business, right? Because by that Monday, they never got back to me. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go, because I'm not going to hunt them down to give me an answer after they told me what they told me. They know if they want this position filled, they know where to find me. That was just my main thought process, right? Especially if you're going through your healing journey, you don't run after anything. You don't have to run for anything when you're going through your healing journey. Excuse me. So I'm traveling to I'm on the train traveling to Canada. I had a very intelligent conversation with a male on the train to Canada. I learned so much on that train ride to Canada. And when he left, I got an email from the agency saying, please confirm your shift for tonight. So I was like, what are you talking about? I never got that email response telling me to be there for the assignment, right? And usually this agency, they provide housing. So they never told me about housing. They never told me, okay, your housing is set up or anything like that. They never told me any of that stuff. So that's how I knew they were playing games with me at that moment. Excuse me. So I said, I was not frantic or anything like that, because I was being happy. I was in the mood of being happy. I was in the mood of doing what my heart desired at that moment. So I was just like, I'm not really worried about this. But if you want to play games, we can play games. You feel me? So I'm on the train, and I sent her a screenshot of the email. Do not make any travel plans until we get back to you. She's like, oh, that was just for the week because you said da 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 da. And I said, I know what I said, but this is what you said, and this is what I'm following. Can you please go back to this, that, and the third? And I was just like, I'll think about it. You know, I'll think about it because I don't like this energy that you're giving me right now. This clearly says for me what to do, what not to do, and that's exactly what I was doing. And I was waiting on y'all to get back to me. Y'all know y'all supposed to fill a slot. So if if you want to play games or whatever the case may be, we could play games. But just know I'm not like these other people out here. I may need money, but I'm not frantic about it. You know what I'm saying? I may need to be working and getting money and having filling up my pocket the way I used to, right? Because for some reason, going through this healing journey, I've really detached from money. I can't explain it. It's just been a natural occurrence. I can't explain it to you, but I didn't let that hamper my energy or my mood or anything like that. So when I finally got to Canada, they was like, can you please make it for next week? They really want to have you there. And I was just like, I'll think about it, because the reason I left is because I was feeling like my energy was being drained, you know what I mean? And I don't want to necessarily blame it on the workplace, but I want to say that because, like I said, I've been wanting to step into my purpose, wanting to step into my true divine, walk of life and stuff like that. So at that moment, just going back really seemed like a burden to me. So therefore, it didn't really even faze me or bother me or anything like that, right? So I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go back, right? And I just left it at that. I just left it at that. She was like, oh, we really wish you to come back. And I don't even think I responded after that, or whatever the case may be. And they were calling me from random numbers. They was calling me from private numbers and all types of stuff like that. And I was just like, I don't want to go back because of that negative mind game play thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's work. This is our work. This is business. You know what I mean? I work with you, you work with me. And therefore, I don't know if you could see, and therefore all of that, negative energy and stuff like that, I don't want to participate in, because that's not my flow. You understand? So, time has gone by and stuff like that. Right now I'm on my hiatus, and I was thinking about reaching out to them for an assignment and stuff like that, because at first I was going to email them and find out, do we have any beef or anything like that if I ask for an assignment, because we can hash it out right now. You know what I mean? Because I just was like, well, I could utilize what they offer, providing housing and stuff like that. But come to find out, they still do have a grudge, because I probably assisted in them losing money. But in all actuality, when you're doing business, you just need to be straightforward, So they had called me back in February, said, hey, we have an assignment that's starting next week. Can you make it? So I went, did my little homework to find out the place and the state and all that type of stuff. Do I really want to go? So I called back to find out about it. And then she was like, well, they're telling me that they have some schedule discrepancies. So therefore, I'm gonna get back to you. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna be waiting for your call. And I never got a phone call back. So I was just like, obviously there's still some kind of grudge there, or whatever the case may be. But I personally feel like when your heart is telling you something, to not ignore it, especially if you are trying to go through the spiritual healing journey and stuff like that. Do not ignore how you feel on the inside about something, because my first reaction was like, y'all are playing games, and I don't want to be playing games with y'all. Like, that's just not my MO. You know what I'm saying? That's not my MO. I understand that, just and the way everything just worked out. Like, when I was ready to take my break, she was coming up, the coordinator was coming up to me and was like, we got this, we got that, we got all these days open, blah 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 blah, blah. And I have already claimed that I want to start walking in my purpose, but I was just like, nah, I'm gonna take a break, because I need a break. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we can be really greedy when our body is telling us something, especially in nursing. When our body is telling us something and like, no, don't do that, you need to listen to that. That's what my body was telling me. It was telling me, do not go any further after the certain date that you have proclaimed. Book what you need to book the flight, book this, book, and go about your business. You know what I mean? Because time is of the essence. Time is divine. This moment right now for you to want to walk in your purpose is actually a divine moment, and this is what I had to listen to, right? So if you're going through your healing journey, please pay attention to what's going on around you, because you want to start walking into your destiny. You want to start walking into your purpose now, because when you start walking into your purpose and your destiny, you will never get tired, and that's what nursing was doing to me at that particular moment. And I had to draw back. And because I guess, whatever reason I had to lose this connection is because if I didn't lose this connection, I'll probably still continue being, I don't want to use slave, but you understand what I'm saying, still continue, being under that type of influence where, okay, my housing is taken care of, I'm making money, and, I don't have really much to worry about. I could stack money and this, that, and the third, but I'm not walking in my purpose. I'm not doing what I need to do to fulfill my pure happiness. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I had to lose this connection, and I guess spirit understood that, how I feel about gaslighting and stuff like that. And it was like, oh, she's gonna back off because she doesn't like that type of energy. And that's exactly what happened, So right now, I feel no type of way about not working right now. What I feel is just walking in my purpose to tell my stories about nursing. I don't have no problems with nursing, but I realize that it's a very draining career. It is. It's a very draining career. It takes a lot of your energy. You're dealing with multiple people on a multiple basis level and stuff like that. Plus you feel bad for people because you can't really help them in that manner because you're more of a holistic type of person. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, don't let nobody take advantage of you as a nurse. Like, one thing for certain, two things for sure, you got to have tough skin in this field. You have to have tough skin in this field. You can't have nobody walking over you in this field. You understand what I'm saying? Because one is draining, and two, you got to have your head on right. You got to be able to present yourself in this field. You know what I'm saying? So that is my story on how I was gaslit by a travel agency. And if you have any questions, comment down below. I want to start interacting with y'all and stuff like that. I don't know if I should start getting back on live and all that type of stuff, but yeah, like these are my stories. I'm going to share more experiences with y'all about things I just gone through as a nurse and stuff. And I feel I'm going to put a video out on what's the name of this video? What am I going to name this video? How nursing has helped me. So be on the lookout for that. And just stay tuned. If you're going into nursing, this is not to scare you. This is to encourage you to have the toughest skin, know how to deal with people. But this is not to scare you. This is just to share my experience, because one thing, my experience may not be your experience, but a heads up is always helpful. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, stay tuned. Bent loves love. Peace.